I'm more addicted to Tiger King 2 than I think Tiger King 1. I think Tiger King 1 on Netflix came to us at a time where we just needed something other than COVID or, the pandemic, right? We're all freaking out. We're in fear. This crazy Tiger Joe Exotic guy pops up on your Netflix and you forget about the pandemic. It was a savior. I've said that since day one. And then you go, oh, they're going to do Tiger King 2. This is going to suck. Most sequels do suck. I got to tell you, Tiger King 2 is 10 times better than Tiger King 1. Tiger King 1, the first season, was more or less a bunch of characters. I mean, it was like reality television. You're like, I don't believe this shit. This is ridiculous. Tiger King 2 is like investigative reporting. It's really, really interesting, and they introduce new characters. Now, an old friend of ours, Eric Love, who is Joe Exotic's go-to guy when he was trying to get him pardoned. He's featured more or less. I haven't gotten through all of Tiger King 2, but I know episode 2 and I think even into 3, Eric, it's all about you. And, you had the cameras with you when we were on the radio station. We had you on, and actually that day, I think when you were going up to, it was the Trump Stop the Steal rally. And you flew up an Exotic 1. And you were saying like, so look at me, get him out of jail. And that just didn't go as planned, right? It just didn't work out.
I'm going to tell you guys, everybody always, if you think outside the box and you say, hey, I'm going to wrap a bus, we're going to troll DC. Don't troll them in person. We're going to wrap a jet. Everybody thinks you're nuts. Okay. But then when you go do it, we were certainly expecting a different outcome. And it was an absolute shit show on the ground right after the speech. So that was kind of all for nothing. I mean, what happened on January 6th after the speech, after President Trump delivered the speech, the crowd was so amped up. And we noticed a lot of people, we got them on film. There were a lot of really organized people in the group. And we already felt, man, this is going to be bad. And then when the warning came out, if you've seen season 2, we're in the limo going back to the private plane, and I said, "Boy, we're fucked." I mean,
because that was the insurrection day, right?
Yeah, what they call the insurrection day. I mean, that's like going on a hot date with a girl, and every credit card you have is declined. It's that gut feeling. Oh shit! Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
So I've got to ask you, Eric. Just a full disclosure. I'm not a right guy. I'm not a left guy. I mean, I just don't give a fuck. I'm so over all of it.
I'm with you.
But I know you were a Trump or are a Trump guy, and you are a Republican, and you're a Texas guy, and all the power to you. It's not a political conversation. I just know that if I were a diehard fan of a party or a president and I show up to a rally, I think in your head, I know in my head, it would have been like, these are my people. They're going to support my cause. They know who Joe Exotic is. Then when you get there, you find out that animal rights people overpowers anything in politics because these people were pissed off at you. You looked shocked. That's what you look, shocked.
Well, so I'll tell you this. I've been married 5 times, so there's nobody that can shake me. I've also learned to always keep a steady hand. And at the end of the day, I will tell you this. When I think about how that day went, when you started talking about these are my people, so I'll tell you this. In the job that I hold and the career that I hold, I have to be like the mayor. I've got to kind of make sure I'm good on both sides, if you follow me.
Sure.
So when it comes to time to donate to a particular party, hey, it depends on if it might be advantageous for me. Guess what? I might go to both sides. I might go to the third party that nobody thinks might win, and they win. So I have to play the mayor role. I'm a conservative person, but I'll tell you this. I've got 3 daughters. Texas has some pretty tough laws on the books right now that affect girls. Mm-hmm. And, let's say they get in a bad situation and they don't want to have a kid. Hey, I'm not saying I agree with that. Okay. So I would say that I'm not a straight line party guy for politics. I really am kind of a mayor in that aspect. I've got to kind of make sure each side that I have to play to, hey, if I've got to play to, let's Go Brandon. Guess what? I'm going to play the Let's Go Brandon.
He's right here.
Depends on if it will.
He's right here.
Not the other one. but you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty conservative person, but I'm also pretty liberal in a lot of areas that shock people when they get to know me.
I saw a meme the other day, interview a long time ago with George Carlin. And he says that, paraphrasing, you get people one-on-one. They're all good people. Everybody's good people. Yep. You put people in a group, that's when shit hits the fan. When you take like-minded people and they get amped up. All right, so you're at the rally. Doesn't go well. You leave. The next scene is, which would have been, I think, a couple days. It was the same day. Was that all the same? That wasn't all the same day, was it?
Well, what are you talking about?
The rally and then the limo scene where the Capitol and everybody's going into the Capitol.
So September 10th is the day we actually dropped off. September 10th is the day we dropped off the pardon. I think what you're thinking of, yes, the car scene, that's all the same day.
Okay, that's all the same day. That's when you that's when you guys look at each other and like, oh shit.
We literally
this is not gonna work out.
As soon as John Rinke says, I hope our banner got noticed. I literally sat back and I said, man, guys, I tell you what, I think we're fucked. I think this is a fucking shit show. And man, I put a lot of money in this. This is fucking bad.
Do you think that if President Trump would have won the election or even lost in a different way where there was no controversy and none of this stuff would have happened, do you think that the pardon, because the day that you dropped the pardon off, that's the day we had you on the radio. You gave us the exclusive, which was very nice of you, and we're very thankful for you. Thankful you did that. But if all that shit didn't happen, do you think that you could have gotten that information to President Trump and he would have pardoned Joe Exotic?
So here's what I think. I think all politicians are full of shit because
amen to that.
When I say that, and I'm talking about all of them, we had the inner ear of some really high people, and we were literally told, hey, we're going to be good to go. So that's why I said, hey, let's wrap the jet. I mean, this is going to be freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
We wrap the jet, we get up there, and then everything goes to shit. So I don't know. I mean, I would think that if January 6th didn't happen, I think we were gold. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same breath, you can like a politician, you can like a party. At the end of the day, they're all full of shit.
Yeah. Well,
they are.
I got to tell you, I got to apologize to you. Deep down inside, I thought you were fucking.
I was wrong.
I thought you're fucking crazy. And
yeah.
But even just getting 3 episodes in to Tiger King 2, there's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that man was set up, without a doubt.
Hey, so check this out. I want you to check this out. When I first told my wife, we're literally watching the first season, I didn't want to watch it. I'm not into shit shows. I grew up in a shit show. And, so I can identify dysfunction real quick. So I'm looking at it and I said, man, I'm going to do a presidential pardon on this guy if I can get a hold of him. And my wife said, he's already convicted. And you know how, sometimes that can happen, those conversations. As I dug into this case, I'm going to tell you, if you don't think, everybody thought I was nuts. And I already know this. I've had so many people call and tell me the same thing. Holy shit, love, you were right. I said, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
We found all of this stuff out, and all of this stuff is starting to come to the forefront. And you don't think you can be targeted by a group of people, an entity, a person, if you get too close to knowing something? Man, you're a pretty naive person, because I'll tell you, Joe was on track, really, really causing Carol a lot of problems with him getting too close, knowing something about Don Lewis. Okay. Mm-hmm. He was really, really getting close. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Now he's got all these problems. And it was only once all these other people started coming into the zoo, Jeff Lowe, Lauren Lowe, Alan Glover, he started having all these people come in. There was no issue prior to. What's scary is you have a federal agent up in Oklahoma that conspired with a prosecutor. Now you think about how that's deep. That's a pretty hard thing to say to, about a person in that position. When I started saying it, they said, "Oh shit, watch your back." Dude, I ain't scared of nothing, man. Again, been married. I'm on my 5th marriage. I'm not scared of anything. It is what it is. As this stuff is starting to come to light, I've had people on the federal level call and say, "Holy dick, you were right." I said, "Told you." You have all of these people that, let's call them characters of season 1. You have them all coming forward saying, "I lied." Yeah. I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you. And then when we started putting all of the text messages out that showed, literally vindicated, it's amazing that the justice system is a blind eye. And I'll tell you right now, guys, there's a lot of folks, maybe in your family, certainly in your your listeners, they know someone that's been fucked over.
Yeah.
And don't think it can't happen. And I mean, my life legacy is to do projects that vindicates people that are truly innocent. Not maybe innocent, but truly innocent. This is one of them. And I think that the end result, what's sad is we went through COVID. Joe already has some health problems. COVID certainly didn't help that. Now he's been transferred out to North Carolina because of a prostate cancer issue. And you start adding all this stuff up. And if you're in jail and not guilty and sick, fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah, and his father, right? His father passed of COVID, too.
Father passed away.
Yeah. Was he able to go to the funeral or no?
No.
Yeah, that's sad.
Nope.
Nate, we were talking about this the other day, right? We both are in agreement that we first thought Eric Love was crazy, and now we are apologizing because there's no doubt that we think that Joe Exotic is innocent, correct?
Oh yeah, totally. It's crazy after the second season, like you were saying, a lot of times second seasons aren't as good as the first one, but this one just had all these gems of information that we didn't even realize that were a thing. And it kind of shed light onto the innocence of Joe, and just blew me away.
Is that Nate? Is that Nate right there?
Yeah, that's Nate.
Yeah,
the tank top. He's in Mexico, by the way.
You're on my Facebook. I thought you were fat. You don't look fat.
I used to be.
He used to be fat. Yeah.
Well, maybe
it's
an old picture.
He's in. Yeah. He does this show, Eric, from Mexico. I'm in my home studio. I got fired a month and a half ago or something. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, whatever. We're gonna do this, and this has been extremely successful for the past month. And I just said, when it comes to the interview stuff on Mondays and Fridays, I just want to interview interesting people that I like, that I can have a long conversation with. We can talk how we normally talk, do what you normally do. My man, if you watch the video element of this on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok and whatnot, Eric Love is smoke. I don't know the last time I've seen somebody smoke a cigarette in a car. You're smoking a cigarette in a car. It's like watching.
That's Texas, baby.
I just had Whataburger over here, so hey, so who is the Ted Nugent over there in the background?
That's Brandon. Let's go. That's Brandon.
Okay, that is Brandon.
That is Brandon. Yeah, we just hired him. He was our former intern. Got him hired at the radio station, quit because the show just, and he wasn't having a good time. So he comes over to the good guys, and now he just sits here and looks awkward and weird.
It looks homeless. I like it.
I get that a lot.
No, I'm just messing with you.
The Don Haskins thing. So for those that don't watch Tiger King, Don Haskins is the ex-husband of Carol Baskin. Now, Carol Baskin, I'm going to tell you right now, I can tell you everything there is to know about a person within 60 seconds. And I knew this from the first season. She is an extremely manipulative person with a fast, forgetful memory, where she can do something and then brainwash herself to forget it happened and justify it to make it right. The reason I know
she's a narcissist.
She's a narcissist. The reason I know, and she's a compulsive liar. The reason I know this is because she's my mother. Like, I'm estranged from my mother, but she's a spitting image of my mother. Mannerisms, everything she says and she does. But the Don stuff is
Don Lewis.
Or Don Lewis. Why am I saying Don has? Don Lewis. The Don Lewis stuff is crazy because this motherfucker might be alive in Costa Rica still, right?
This motherfucker's dead.
He's dead, but not by, but he's dead probably Do you think he's dead by Carol Baskin's hand or dead?
Absolutely.
What did she do? Or was it the cartel and all these bad guys he was involved in with?
Now, so I don't ever like to talk bad about a person that's deceased. I just will not do it. I don't give a shit, how bad they are. Everybody always tries to crap up your life legacy or what kind of a person you are. And my heart goes out to Don Lewis's daughters and family. And what goes out about that is, if you watch that, you have a couple people talking not so positive about Don Lewis. Not saying he's a saint, but they're painting him as a person that's probably a pedophile. Okay, to a little bit of a light. He talks about some underage girls. That makes it salacious, and that makes good video. Okay, so maybe he was like that. I don't know that. Nobody else has really attested to it except one or two people. So I think that they're trying to dirty that up, in my opinion. I think that Don died right there in Florida, and I think that it could be a couple of things. He could be either on that property or off that property. He's not going to be in a solid form like we are. I honestly think that he was fed to the tigers, and it would be real easy to do through a meat grinder. And you have enough people that work for you. And I don't want to say any specific names, but they're named in the Netflix season 2, Tiger King, where all of a sudden they have a whole bunch of firearms. Well, that were, hold these firearms. Well, that's kind of weird. Another thing that doesn't come to light that I wish would have, Carol's brother was a police officer. A lot of people don't know this. The night that he supposedly went missing, you start looking at call logs, nobody can attest to where he was actually at. So I'm not saying it, but saying it, you understand?
Yeah.
I think that there are some things that, and I'm appreciative of the sheriff's office down there. They have reopened that case. They're looking at it a lot harder. And I'll tell you, documentaries such as Tiger King 2 have solved cases.
Yeah. And
I do believe the Don Lewis case will be solved. I really believe that. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that I haven't disclosed to anyone, and I haven't disclosed this to anybody. The only people that know about this are 2 of my counsels. Okay. So when Joe's Zoo went up for sale, I started I didn't want to go up and put my name on anything, but I went up and tried to buy it. And I was going to buy it and just give it back to Joe. Me, Francisco Hernandez, and Jeff Hoover, attorneys for Team Tiger. We started a company called Trace Holdings for 3 of us, and we tried to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it to us. I mean, they ended up investigating. We gave the highest bid of all, and they wouldn't sell it to us. They probably figured it out. But I do have all the paperwork showing that we made a bid. I took a big stack of cash in a bag up to Oklahoma and they said, bring a cashier's check. Now we'll pay for it outright. No problem. But I thought that would be a good thing for Joe once he got released, just to be able to go back and say, you know what, you motherfuckers didn't win.
Yeah.
I've got some guys in my corner that truly tried to right the wrong. And when I tell you that there's an Oklahoma prosecutor and an Oklahoma federal agent and a judge, they're all shitting themselves right now because they know that we're close. And I've had some weird things happen to me this week. Had a person follow me the other day and they didn't think I saw them. All you got to do is call one of your partners. Hey, come get right behind me. I'm going to keep driving, get the tag number. It's a game. Yeah. So, who's trying to find out what we're doing? And, it never fucking ends. But I'm just going to tell you, when this thing all comes together and closes out, Joe's going to walk out of prison. And he's going to be vindicated. And I think a lot of people will change their mind about how they look at the justice system. The justice system, it can be good. It is not good, but it can be good. The justice system fucked Joe over because of some dirty folks. Yeah. They're in it.
Well, the good old boy system exists. It'll always exist.
Yeah.
You know, as I think the exact same way you do. It can do good, but I personally experienced the bad, not on the level of Joe Exotic, but, you know, small town USA, you know, big city boy goes in, has to say something that's not true. Necessarily, not that I'm perjuring myself, but, you know, because the jury's not going to buy, you know, it's all a game. It's smoke and mirrors. It's theater. It's Shakespeare.
And you know what's sad? I have a bunch of friends that are gay. Who gives a fuck? In Oklahoma, I'll just tell you, Oklahoma, rural Oklahoma, they don't like someone that doesn't look like them and go to fake church on Sunday and play the little weekly game. You know, they see each other and they hello each other and then motherfuck the guy behind the back. Joe was a little bit outspoken. I'm not saying this guy is going to win any awards for being anything, okay? But what I'm saying is this fucking guy was set up. I've said it from the beginning, and we were able to prove it. And I'll just tell you, there's going to be a real fallout from this, a real fallout. And I think it only behooves, whether it's the state or the federal government, the involvement piece, I think it only behooves them to see the flaws. Everybody thinks everything is great. Ain't fucking great. It's not. Look at what happened in this case. And you think this is an isolated case? I guarantee you go to the south side of any town, whether it's Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, doesn't matter. You go to the south side of town, I guarantee you can find more of these type cases where someone's targeted than anywhere else.
Yeah, the education,
I do believe that.
Education level is a little bit dumber on the south side of many things, right? Is that fair to say?
We got some of the best schools in the nation up there. So they say.
So
I live on the south side of my town, you know.
Would it be fair to say, Eric, you know, well, actually, no, I'm going to start like that. I'm going to say, I want to have you answer this. Is this one of those things where because you are on a television show and you have the real life situation that you cannot divulge all this information because of the television show and the storyline? In my head, like, I've been in the entertainment business for almost 3 decades, so I know how it works, but this is a man's life you're dealing with as well. So you kind of like have to weigh the pros and the cons of how it's going to benefit everyone. Would it be safe to say that there is information that we still don't know that can exonerate Joe Exotic that maybe we won't find out until Tiger King 3?
Well, so here's what I will tell you. You are right about a lot of that. And I think that you can tell I'm a bit of an outspoken person.
Yeah.
I have said this from the very beginning. This evidence has existed since day one. They just needed a mouthpiece to push it. You know, I can text Harvey Levin at TMZ. I can text him 24 hours a day. He'll put me up in a heartbeat. He's a good man. Okay. And the platform he has, you know, it's a global platform. So I'm gracious to outlets that would always give me the opportunity to push the message. And even Harvey thought, golly, man, you're really going out there on this. Man, I'm telling you, it's true. And I'll tell you, if I believe something, and I can certainly prove something, you can't sway me. Mm-hmm. That's you know, like a little 6-year-old kid said the other day, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I said, what do you mean? He told me a story, and he said, at the end of his story, he said, and that's it. And I thought, that's a pretty good way to end that. And that's it. So I do think that Joe will be vindicated. A lot of people think you can just march down to the courthouse and ask for a new trial. Doesn't work like that. Anybody in the legal community knows it is a process, and it's some bullshit sometimes. But I will tell you this. I do think he's going to get out. This evidence has been something that is, you know, been uncovered throughout the investigation. As it became uncovered, I mean, you're waiting for the next level of shock, and the next level of shock has never stopped. I'm like, I can't fucking believe this. This is, I mean, it's unreal, some of it.
Yeah.
But you think about a person's life, and I've said it a million times. When I hold these cases of paperwork or, attorney files or whatever. It's not just a person. It's not just a person. It's their whole life. And it depends on the roads that you navigate with it, whether it's the attorneys, the assistants. It's somebody's life. And I will say this. My biggest hope is I would love to see Joe walk out and let him enjoy some stardom. Mm-hmm. He truly has going to have a great story to tell once he's out.
Oh yeah, he's going to get paid a lot of money to make appearances when he gets out.
I hope he does. I hope he makes a shit ton 2 times.
Yeah, he's
2 or 3 times the money.
Did you ever find out who was following you the other day? You said you get guy, or do you ever find out who's following you? Who was it? Who was it?
I did. And so I will tell you this. Anytime you're involved with any kind of high profile case, it doesn't matter if it's a Netflix or international story or local story, you'll have some freaks and weirdos that show up. Okay. It's just how it works. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, this person ended up being a person just trying to get a picture of me smoking a cigarette in the morning. Dude, you want a picture? Come over. I'll let you fucking lay across the Cadillac, take a picture. Don't go creeping around my neighborhood. Yeah. Especially around my house. Yeah. And I got car cameras in my car, so I already knew I would be able to find out who it is, but I wanted to catch them in the act. And when they realized they don't have just one car following, they got 3. And we just kind of put him in a little box. Mm-hmm. He's following me, one on each side, one behind him. When they realize, holy dick, I'm in a box. This is not good.
Yeah. You also have to be careful, not only this day and age, but with certain types of people. I know I carry, I've got a license to carry. Well, yep. I was going to say, I know there's no doubt that you've got a big, I'm assuming it's a big, shiny silver revolver that you carry.
Man, you know what? I fit a stereotype of driving a Longhorn Cadillac in Texas. So you wouldn't be wrong, but you're wrong. I mean, I carry in my boot and I carry in my pocket, and both are automatic. I like Smith & Wesson. Mm-hmm. And so I like the 380 and I like the 9. Mm-hmm. I used to carry a 45, but your pants about fall off if you're carrying a couple extra magazines. Everything's too heavy. My wife for 2 Valentine's days has got me a firearm. So when we first got together, she got me, Kel-Tec makes a Sub 2000, which is a badass, it shoots like a pistol, but it's a rifle with a closable stock, the 9mm of that. And then for this past Valentine's Day, she got me the new SIG 9mm. That I have somewhere in my house, but that's a good carry gun. That's a good gun. I carry that little Kel-Tec 380 in my pocket.
I've got that in my car.
Mm-hmm. It's like a synthetic. It's it's very lightweight. It's a get off me gun. Yeah. You get too close, get off me. Yeah. The other, but I'll tell you this: I bought a Henry. It's actually a pistol, classified as a pistol, but it looks like a rifle, and it's called a mare's leg. If you want to look up a weird fucking gun, look up that 45 caliber. It looks like a mini rifle, but it is considered a pistol by classification. It's very ridiculous. I carry that in the Cadillac.
You've seen The Judge, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All my buddies, a lot of ex-military guys are like, I got one gun in the house. I got The Judge. It's like, you're not, I've got a this much to miss, which it's like I can shoot it anywhere and I'm going to hit you with the damn. But that's what I'm saying. These people, these freaks, these diehard, Tiger King lovers, they're looking at it from a fan standpoint as like, I need to get close to Eric Love. I want to see him smoking a cigarette. I want to see him eating his Whataburger and all that stuff. But
so weird.
But they're get too close, then you start looking at self-defense. We just saw that case happen. A couple of these cases. Somebody's going to get hurt. You gotta back off, people. Don't be getting in my man's bubble. It's going to freak him out a little bit.
So I knew it wasn't media because Nate will tell you I answer any call that comes in, man. Whether they call me, text me, Facebook message me, I'll talk to anybody. So it's never going to be hard to get a hold of me. So I knew it wasn't a media person, and this person was actually an animal rights person, and he just wanted to get a picture. And I end up having a good conversation with him, and I explained to him kind of the rule of the road. Hey, don't be a dick. If you need something, let me know. I'm very accessible on social media. You can find my phone number real easy. Just Google it. Everything comes up. But, one of the things that I'm known for here in my town is I do a lot of philanthropy. And, I'm a big guy. I'm 270, 6'2", 270. I like to eat. I don't like anybody being hungry. That's something that's near and dear to my heart. And I'm in the homeless community all the time, every week, 2 or 3 times a week. That's my passion. So the people that know me, they know that I'm a good person, good moral compass. They know that, I don't want to be on the front page of any newspaper unless it's involving a case that I can champion. So, when you have someone that creeps around your house, because it started at my house, the person was sitting down the street from my house. And that's when I saw them as I was getting on the freeway. I noticed that this vehicle was following me. So, I just tell people, hey, if a person's very accessible to the media, just get a hold of them. It's much easier that way, and it's much more pleasant. So we don't have to be adversaries. I might not like what you do, and you might not like what I do, but you don't have to. The approach is everything. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, I had Whataburger a while ago, guys. I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
Don't have a heart attack in this interview. Please don't have a heart attack. Have you met any of the other players in Tiger King, like the Doc Antles and the other Sanctuary?
I've not met Doc, but yes. To answer your question, yes, I've met many of the players. I have not met Doc. I have seen and have known about him for a long time.
He's a freak, isn't he?
John, what's that?
He's a freak, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. I don't know him. So, you might be a freak. He might not even have pants on right now doing this interview. I don't know how this goes.
Look at that. Okay. Sweats. Well, then, you watch the show and,
well, they portray him.
Right.
They
exactly.
portray him as a freak.
Yeah.
Now, you got to admit, in Tiger King 2, the Jeff Lowe interviews, it doesn't get much weirder than that. You got your spouse sitting in the background in a negligee. That's fucking weird. I don't care who you are.
Dude, there's nothing normal. I mean, everything from the lesbian chick that gets her arm ripped off that comes back to work like an hour later, to all the gay lovers, to the horrible music videos, to the competition having, whatever. Nothing is normal with that show. But the Doc Antle guy is interesting because he's created this almost like cult. It's like Waco, I mean, he brings, there's a very fine line of moral compass here of saying, hey, why don't you come and play with the Tigers as like an internship? These young girls come and then they end up being his like 8th wife or something. It's very shady, very shady.
Well, I think it's weird. But, a lot of people's lifestyles are weird nowadays. What used to be real taboo is much more acceptable now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I think he's a smart business guy from what I understand and know. I think he's a smart business guy. And I think he's smart not to participate in these type of shows because it only uncovers and exposes even more that someone can twist against you. So like I say, I don't know him. I don't have anything negative or positive to say. I just know who he is. And I'm like you, that's not my lifestyle. But if elderly semi-obese guy can talk a bunch of girls to come in and stay, I mean, everybody's got game. Maybe that's his game. I don't know.
So give me out of the players in the Tiger King series that you have met, outside of course you and Joe Exotic, the one that you liked the most and the one that kind of rubbed you the wrong way and you're okay not ever being around again.
Well, that's probably most of them. I'll tell you this. I love John Rinke. Mm-hmm. He and I have become pretty good friends. And if anybody debates this, I'll come down there and fight you, Mexico or wherever you're at. We both like professional wrestling.
So do I.
So me and him go. Yeah.
One of my best friends is Bubba Ray Dudley from the Dudley Book. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm a wrestling. You're talking to the right guy right here.
Okay. So we are wrestling guys, and me and him go to quite a few shows. I love John. I think John is a good person. I'll just say this. There's a couple of guys on there that I don't ever want to be around because they're so fucked up. I don't want any of that fucked upness to jump on me.
Mm.
I mean, and I've met, and I'm talking about the ones I've met. In my opinion, they're all very flawed humans. And I try to not to participate with flawed humans unless I'm working a case. This was a case I had to interact with them. And I mean, so I know dysfunction well, grew up in it, understand it. This is fucking level 5. It's a level I've never seen, I mean, it is. It's crazy, but.
Well, I tell you, if you and John can get to Atlanta on New Year's Day, the WWE has a big pay-per-view here in town. I've got ringside seats. I can get some extras. I know I can. I got a great working relationship with them. DDP, a buddy of mine. I got a Christmas party to go to in a week at his house every year. That's his favorite holiday. He does the DDP yoga. If you're ever trying to lose a few pounds and get in good shape, that's amazing. So
I'm absolutely not doing that.
It's actually not that bad. It's not as rainbow as you think it is. It's actually pretty.
Well, I want to show you something.
Yeah.
I'm die hard on something. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that, Bert?
Oh, is that Whataburger on your cowboy boot?
I told you, man, I'm legit.
Holy shit. Do you have steak in that restaurant? Do you own one of them? Is it OO'd? Is that the one you went to? Or are you just a big burger fan from there?
No, I like I eat a hamburger in the morning. That's what I like. Everybody else, I don't like breakfast at all. Can give two shits about breakfast eggs, and I love bacon, but I like a hamburger in the morning. I'm a Whataburger or Waffle House. That's the only place I like to go. That's it.
You got Waffle House in Texas, right? I mean, it's an Atlanta
man.
thing. Yeah.
I beat the brakes off of it. I got there's 3 right by my house, and I know the manager. She runs all 3. That's kind of my favorite. That's my people. Growing up, that's my people.
Yeah.
That was a big deal to get to go out to eat at Waffle House. We were fucking broke, boy. And now, like yesterday, I get invited to all these fancy galas, and I could give 2 shits about all that. I'd rather just write a check and not go so they can, have the benefit of the donation, and I don't have to go use their restroom or eat some food that everybody's breathing on. I'm real weird about germs. Package it up, hand it to me, I'll eat in the car.
That's great. You're in your Cadillac with a cigarette and Whataburger, and then you show the Whataburger logo. I thought it was Wonder Woman at first. Whataburger logo on his cowboy boots. It's like, that's great.
Now, do you guys have a Ponchos down there where you're at?
Not here, Nate. Do you have a Ponchos in Mexico?
Probably.
So it's like the worst buffet you could ever go to. But growing up, my dad got paid. Hey, we got to go to Ponchos about maybe once or twice a month. That's a big deal. You raise a little flag, you get more shit to eat, right? They come and take your, you want more, whatever. So I'm actually having me a pair. There's hardly any of these Ponchos left. I've got a guy making me a pair of poncho boots because, hey, I like ponchos. They're not around anymore.
I'm a big buffet guy growing up. My grandmother was my rock. She was my best friend, and so on and so forth. So the weekends I'd get to spend with her, we'd go out to lunch. She never drove a car. She was born in, the early 1900s.
What'd y'all do, walk?
Yeah, we walked or took public transportation. Yeah. So this is like in Annapolis, Maryland. So we would go to like Morrison's cafeteria, or Morrison's was our go-to. That was where we would go. Morrison's. I was a little fat kid growing up. So it was, it was like, oh my God, I can go back and get some more of the yellow stuff. This stuff is fucking amazing. So big fan. Nate, question for Eric, before we let him go.
Yeah. So you seem like a pretty well-off guy and very philanthropic. So what have you done your whole life? Like, what kind of business have you been in?
I sold poetry.
Yeah. Out now, cowboy boot without Whataburger logo.
No, so I'll tell you something funny. All right, I'll give you the elevator pitch. So I got hired to work in the jail in Fort Worth, and end up making sergeant, going through the police academy. I was a patrol sergeant, and I had a great career. Started off driving the prison bus. And I got a phone call one day. All cops work side jobs. And the person on the other end of the phone said, "Hey, I'm a cop in California. I'm starting a business. Can you work this job?" And they paid me a little bit more than anybody else. I said, "Yep, I'll do it." And it was in the morning. I said, "Give me your name and date of birth real quick." What do you need that for? I'm a cop. Yeah, if you don't pay me, I'm going to fly to California and I'm going to fucking kill you. And they couldn't stop laughing. They're like, "You are my guy." So I ended up getting recruited by this company that was just a fresh startup. When I tell you, my life has been a lot of luck, all favor, and just being a good person. I went as the first employee. We ended up with 2,222 W-2 employees, daily workers, and a database of about 10,000 off-duty cops. And we were bought by the biggest in the industry, so I made some money there, right? But over the years, I always I kind of had a knack for putting a story to something and selling it. So a guy, I've had some really cool things given to me over my life. I had a lot of things that I ended up buying at the right price, and finding that one person on the globe that just had to have that one thing. I'm an Elvis fan. At one time, one of my Cadillacs had Elvis airbrushed on it, and I'm sitting at a real shitty little restaurant over in Hearst, and I see this guy walk in, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's Elvis Presley's stepbrother." And he said, who's in that Cadillac? It's got to be you with that ugly shirt. I'm like, "That's me." And so to be able to, it doesn't matter if it's Warren Buffett. So in my previous life, I was around folks like Warren Buffett, many celebrities, always at the Oscars, the Grammys. I really had a fun time in the private security world. It was a lot of fun, made a lot of really, truly good friends. And, I just tell people, your life can be what you make it. If you want to just make if you just want to be under the radar and do something, hey, do that. But if you truly want to do something, you got to love yourself. And that took 4 marriages for me to understand how much I need to love me. And my wife now, when I tell you, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, because a lot of people aren't designed that way. For me, having the right person in my life absolutely balanced me out and allowed me to truly love myself. And once that happened, man, I flourished in business, in personal, anything I would attack personally, it would just go the right directions because I was totally balanced at that point. But I love, I don't charge any money. Not one penny has changed hands in my favor. Now, I've spent a shit ton of money on projects, but I never take money from a project that I'm doing. I just don't do it.
Would any of your 4 ex-wives say nice things about you?
All 4 of them would. Absolutely. They're all on my Facebook.
I believe you. I really, yeah, I think you're an amicably split type of guy. I amicably split from my first wife and we're still friends today. You seem like that guy. Like those 4 wives would be like, "Oh, Eric Love's great dude. Had lunch with him the other day. Yeah. His wife's beautiful. Really nice."
And I'll tell you, you know what? A lot of kids in this environment now, in my opinion, they think everybody is their adversary. That's absolutely not true. And if you can divorce, if you want to be a dick to your ex-wife, it will affect your kids. And my kids are all stupid. I love them to death. They're fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're fun. Divorce didn't affect anybody because if you handle it right from the onset, the approach is everything. Yeah. So, I think that is, I think that's the key. It really is.
Well, brother, thanks so much for all the time. I know you got a busy day today, and I appreciate you carving out some minutes for us. We'll definitely, if it's in your scheduling, have you back on, especially as I agree with you. I think this second season of Tiger King, something beneficial for Joe Exotic will happen. I, again, will go on the record 110% agree that Joe Exotic is innocent. he did not. I think he's guilty of being stupid, but innocent of doing the things that he's been put in jail for. You know,
and I need to hear one more time. What did you say? You wanted to apologize to me? I want to hear that one more time. I just love the sound of it.
I, Jason Bailey, would like to apologize to one Eric Love for thinking that he was crazy as fuck, thinking Joe Exotic was not guilty, thinking it was all gimmick. Watching the second season of Tiger King, I'm the idiot. I'm wrong. Eric Love is right, and I'm sorry for ever doubting you.
I really appreciate that. And you know what? I accept that, and I'll just tell you, at the end of the day, if you ever get in a pinch, I want you to call me because I got a lot of assets. We'll get you boys right out. And Nate, if you'll send me a copy of this show, I'd appreciate that, buddy.
Of course.
Or send me a link.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Definitely.
All right, Eric, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, and Brandon, I was just messing with you about looking homeless, but you're wearing some kind of weird hat. You look like you're out in like a duck blind or something. So doesn't hurt to smile, son.
He looks like the character that didn't make it on Jurassic Park, even though he got the costume for it.
That's Larry. That's Larry from now on.
All right.
Hey, you boys have a good day. Okay. Thank you so much.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eric.
See ya.
Bye-bye.